Morning everyone. So back on the restoration work, back on the Jensen to start with. So just a brief recap on this one. Obviously still masked up from when we did the interior. Epoxied, cobra'd, and that is actually what the Jag's going to be in by the end of today as well. So it takes literally next door as we speak, scuffing the interior of the Jag and the boot. Ready for epoxy seam seal and then Cobra again, just to protect it. Again, all hidden. It's just a bit more protection and obviously reinstating that seam sealing, which is the most important part. I'm going to gap the doors up on this one, unmask it, gap the doors up. Finally got the hinge pins for the doors now, so we can finish off the sides of this, get this one ready for poly. Yeah, so we're going to be cracking on with the restoration work this week, whilst waiting for some of the other jobs to come in as well.
Just like we're ready.
Alright, next up with the Jag then. So as I said before, it's basically the same as what we did with the Jensen. So the E-coat's been scuffed. We're just going to epoxy this quickly. 15-minute flash after the epoxy, seam seal, 15-minute flash after the seam seal, and then straight on with a round of our Cobra. So it's going to look black again at the end of it, but it'll be all nicely protected. Just the best way to do things, as we mentioned before. Get that done now. Okay, that's the epoxy done and the seam sealant. So the seam sealant was done about 5 minutes ago. It's got another 15 minutes or so just to skin over before I can put the Cobra over the top. Different colours, purely because I ran out the beige one midway through. Both the same product. And next question, does it look a mess? Yes, it does. Yes, fully agree. It's fit for purpose. I've done it for a purpose, and that purpose is, as it says on the tin, to seal all the joints, to seal any areas of potential moisture ingress. That's all it's for. So I've basically just put it on quite thick and run it in there, or pushed it in there with my finger, with a gloved finger essentially. So it just gets it in all the areas that it needs to be in. So it's fit for purpose, like I said, does what it says on the tin, puts all that original factory seam sealant back into place. It's the most important thing really, to keep any moisture out. Just as important as treating the outside of the car is to treat the insides. So let this skin over and we'll go straight on with our Cobra then. Alright, that's our bed lining done. So we've gone on really thick with this one. The customer asked for basically as much protection as possible on the interior of this car. Don't blame him, to be fair. So yeah, we've seam sealed absolutely everything possible. Gone in with our Cobra, really nice and thick. Used the Schutz gun this time instead of the 2.5. Really thick, heavy coating in there. So that's going to give lovely protection going forwards. Come out really nice. Still wet at the moment, obviously. I've only just put it on a few seconds ago. Yeah, fully hardened after 7 days now.
Just like we're ready. You
Hi guys, it's the longest time since I've done any filming, it feels like. Just one thing or another, shop gets extremely busy sometimes. We've been absolutely flat out with other projects. We just haven't had the chance to start videoing things. But anyway, I will fill you in on what's going on with the shop shortly. For now, Kev has dropped this off. A lot of you guys follow Kev over at MRM. Enclosed throttle bodies, I believe this is. So he's just delivered it. He's just cut, I think he's cut about 2 inches off it. So what we'll do is nice, quick, well, reasonably simple job anyway. Re-fiberglass it from the inside. We will get some clamps on there just to mount it to where it needs to be. It's not far off. It's going to need a bit of manipulation work and some filler work on the outside. Because like I said, he's chopped a fairly substantial chunk out of it, I think. But yeah, re-glass this from the inside. Get it painted. Change of plan. So the way that this was, I just couldn't clamp it together. Just wasn't quite working. So I've ended up just drilling some small holes and clamping it together basically with some bolts instead. Done one layer of fiberglass all the way around. I'll take those bolts off now. It's a bit messy, obviously it runs down, but that will be hidden anyway. Yeah, take the bolts out now and then put another layer all the way around. That'll reinforce it from the inside. We've just got to take care of the outside then. Obviously there's quite a mismatch going on because we've essentially got to make it fit and it doesn't. Yeah, nothing we can't handle. Building up the shape on this one. So it's all fiberglass from the inside, which is what gives it the strength, and we're just working on, I suppose, the decorative side now and giving it the shape, or putting some shape into it. Just because of the way that this fits, you've got quite an angle here and it meets this angle here, and then obviously the curves around the back as well. It's all kind of spliced to make it work rather than how it was originally, if that makes sense. So we are just trying to have to build up a few areas just to make it look like it's meant to be. So I'm going to have this as a flat panel and then transitioning around with a curve. You can see kind of what I've done a little bit here. It's not going to be fully symmetrical because it's just not anymore. The whole unit is not symmetrical anymore the way that it's been cut. But that won't make any difference anyway because it lays flat in the car, so you'll never see it. But I'll do both sides for the sake of it. Should come out quite nicely. Morning everyone. I realise I haven't really done many videos again. I thought I'd better explain what we're doing with this one because it looks quite drastic, but it's not. It's just a front end respray, so front bumper into bonnet and the two front wings for colour match side of things really. There's a little bit of damage on this wing here, so we've taken the door off as well. We'll be doing a blend into the door. It's an awkward colour, so this colour is Catalunya red. It's basically orange. It's got a lot more orange in there than red, but it's a very, very unusual and unique colour. You don't see them very frequently at all compared to the Nisano on mine. Yeah, so it's proven a little bit difficult for us to get the colour match right, but we've done 4 spray out cards now. We've got it right now. It's absolutely spot on, especially from a blending point of view. But yeah, wings are off as well. Like I said, just more for the colour match side of things than anything else. There was barely any damage on any of it, to be fair. It's absolutely immaculate, this car. Doesn't look it so much now. It's got a little bit of dust on it. Unfortunately, when the sun comes out, the dust comes out here. But we will be doing a post clean before this car leaves, obviously. But yeah, it's absolutely immaculate. Stunning. Really, really nice. So yeah, Nath has taken care of this one fantastically well. It was due to have some carbon on it as well. Unfortunately, carbon hasn't turned up. But we'll get the bodywork side of things done, back together, and then Nathan can get the carbon done elsewhere. Right, let's get painted. Okay, so that's all the parts loaded up into the booth. We've got the door next to the wing, same side of the car, so I can get the blend right as well as if it was on the car, so it just helps me out a little bit. I'll have to think about what I'm doing when I'm doing the blending areas. I've got so many different panels. Front bumper will be resprayed in full anyway in terms of the colour, so will the bonnet, and then we just need to blend it down onto the wings. Again, just because it's a bit of a tricky colour, yeah, a little bit more wet on wet to go on the bare plastic areas on the bumper, same with the repair on the door, and then we're good to get some colour on. Alright then guys, I think that's where I'm going to leave it for this week. So I will try and get back to the videos on a more regular basis from next week onwards. It's just been one of those months, weeks, several weeks worth. Absolutely flat out busy, barely stopped. But yeah, this one's come out really nice. After all the colour troubles that we had, this one's come out really, really nice now. So dirty on that doors, and that's, I don't know if it looks off or not, but I promise you it's not. Yeah, it's come out really nice. Very, very happy with this one. So just the final finishing polishes and gapping work to do still. Obviously put the front bumper back on, and this one will be ready then. It's yeah, should be one happy customer with this one because it's come out lovely. Right, I hope you're all well, and like I said, I will do my best to try and get back on the videos on a more regular basis next week onwards. Catch you then guys.